What's going on, guys? I'm Daniel and you're on Hustle Every Day. Today we are taking these JK Series Jeep sway bar inlays and we're going to put them on the 99 F250 Super Duty 7.3 truck that I have sitting right over there. We're doing this because I put a 2-inch lift on the truck and I'm pretty sure my sway bar end links are a little bit wonky, and I think it might be causing some popping, and it almost looks like the bolts that hold them on are bending, and I know that can't be good. These sway bar end links are very, very similar in every way to what goes on that truck, except for the fact that they're adjustable. So, with that said, let's get on over there, take the old sway bar end links off, put these guys on, and see what happens. I don't know. It may not work, but why don't you guys stay tuned, come along with me for the ride, and we'll see what happens together. Alright guys, so now we're here under the truck, and this right here is the sway bar, for those of you that don't know. And this piece right here is the sway bar end link. It bolts in down there, and that's the top of it. It bolts in right there. 2 bolts, pretty simple to remove. But what I'm looking at is, if you look right there at that nut, holy crap, that does not look right to me. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong about this, but I do not feel like it should be flexed like that. And it's hard to see, but it's the same way up at the top also. It is just not straight on there, but that bottom one, I mean, that is wonky. And I don't know, you guys can tell me, but I just don't feel right about that. So I'm going to go ahead and put those adjustable sway bar end links on. Alright guys, so here we are. This is the sway bar end link. You can see I have already undone 1 bolt and nut. It was really pretty easy, just a 18 on both sides, pulled it out. So the bottom one is done. I'm going to let you see me do the top one here. Alright guys, so I am just going to try to manhandle this. I think if I come from this side I might be able to get it, because I'm having a hard time getting anything up in here. I could probably get a socket adapter in here, but let's see if I can get this. Look at that. Okay, I got it. It's not terribly hard. If you have I've redone these within the past couple years, so these are probably easier than maybe some that were old and rusted. If you have some that are old and rusted, I'd recommend, you know, putting some krill oil on them, maybe some WD-40, something like that. Soak them up real good, and then probably get a swivel attachment for your impact, or they might come right off. I don't really know. So you're just going to have to give it a try and see what happens. As you can see, I was able to get these off, and I do believe I impacted it on. So these kind of get jammed up in here sometimes because there's a little metal piece, a little piece that's down here, and you really got to jam it down in there. Sometimes you can get them out, but you run the risk of busting your knuckle. Maybe the old link will do it. It'll fit in there just fine. Come on, there it is. Alright. So this one, it's gonna be a little bit of a pain to get it up in here, and I did have to create a spacer to put in here, which I'll show you here in a minute, but I'll put some lubricant on here because this does have kind of a swivel point inside here, unlike the other one. But I'll slip that up in here, and then I'll extend it out to where, you know, these line up, and hopefully it'll work a little bit better. So I'll show you exactly what I had to do, and then we'll get the camera back on here and I'll hook it back up. Alright, so I'm going to take a second to show you exactly what I had to do to make everything fit up what I think is proper. So for my press, and on my other one I pressed out both of these little inserts. They're glued in there pretty well, but 5-ton press pushed it out pretty easily. You could probably heat it up because it is just rubber, so heat that up and it would probably just fall out also. But ironically enough, that insert fit absolutely perfect inside this hole here. So what it ended up looking like when I was done was this right here. You can see it's maybe a little bit off, but once I put the bolt through and tighten it down, it'll flatten everything out and it should fit pretty well. Now on the bottom side, that just has one piece, the sway bar, so I can actually use the factory quick release for that, because I can put the quick release through on that side. This side is just a regular threaded bolt. Quick release lock is going to go right through here, and this will essentially work as, I mean, like a bolt head or something like that, and it just locks it in. And I don't know, I don't really need a quick release because I'm not a Jeep guy, but I'm going to go ahead and use the quick release on the bottom. Then on the top, like I said, I'll just push the bolt through like it was factory. The piece will come down over both sides. Actually, it's more like that. And the bolt will go through it. And it should work just fine. And then to know how long to extend it, I'll show you what I'm going to do. But essentially, you know, I'll just spin it out until it gets to that point to where it looks like it's just going to fit on there without any struggle, without the car lifted, you know, up on a jack or anything like that. And hopefully that'll be good. I'm not a mechanic. I do all of my own work, but I live and I learn, much like all of us. So we'll see what happens. Let's get back to the car and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm installing this. There's the top brackets that I have to slide the piece in that I just lubricated up. So we're going to go ahead and, I might have to get down under there. We're going to go ahead and slip that in first, get that started, because that is a little bit of a pain. Hopefully you can see I got this light on, but it's so bright it sometimes causes more shadows than anything. So there we go. Hopefully the bolt will find its way through. It's going to be a little bit tight, but there we go. There we go. We are through. And just like factory, we'll put a washer and a nut on, and that we will just tighten down like normal. And on this side, hopefully you guys can see everything I'm doing here. I'm just going to extend this down until it gets to where I think it matches up perfectly without, you know, any type of stress on the end link bar or on the sway bar or anything like that. That is so much longer than the OEM. There we go. So kind of compare. I mean, that's another probably 1.5 inches. We're still not quite there. Let's see. So then this is the quick release. That's what it looks like. It has a little hole for the pin, and here's a lock nut. So hopefully, you know, there won't be any need for Loctite or anything like that. Alright, and we are done. There's the final result. I have done the other side already. You can see the little red tab under there hanging off, and that is the quick release pin up there. I know it's hard to see, but screwed in just like the old one. So I'm going to add a little grease and we'll take it for a ride and see how it does. Alright guys, so that's it. I don't know if it's a good idea, if it's a bad idea. I will, like I said, be taking a ride, testing it out. I do use this truck to pull 10,000 pounds every single day. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to leave a comment. I promise I will answer. And if you like videos like this, check out my other videos. I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button. If you're kind enough, you can hit that bell notifications, but I know I don't have enough videos quite yet. So if you hit that subscribe button, check out future videos. I'd really appreciate it. Guys, thanks for watching. I'm Daniel, and you're on Hustle Every Day. Take it easy.